Well, good morning, everybody. Those of you online, I'm great that you can join us today. This morning I have a bit of a story to tell you. It is a little bit of a different presentation. What we're going to be talking about today is predominantly the things that are happening around South Australia. But within that, I want to blend a few ideas, and that is some stories, as well as engage with you, and hopefully you'll feel the Spirit move and want to be involved with what we have to prepare and have to do in our world today. So on behalf of South ADRA Connect, you'll see our logo on the corner of basically every slide, and we want to encourage you to join us when you can and as you feel the need to be involved with community. So as you can see, the title this morning is Go Do. Go Do. Well, some of the key words that we have as an organisation at ADRA is go do justice, go do compassion, and go do love. And this morning I want to talk about what that looks like and how we go about doing that. Do you know there were over 800 million hours of unpaid work volunteering done in 2014. And today, in 2021, well not today, but the last count done in 2021 was there was only 489 million hours of unpaid work and volunteering done. This is really quite a concern in a lot of ways if you think about that. And I guess it really shows you there is a change in shift of the demographics and of our society. I'm here today to try and encourage you to be involved with this work. There are many, many, many benefits for that. And we're just going to show you a few to start with. Here we have some of the reasons why to volunteer. These are very simple things, but very important to us as individuals as well as our community. It increases your self-esteem, gives you some value. It actually improves your health significantly. There's much research done in this space where being involved and volunteering, not only in your physical health, but also in your overall well-being as a person, your mental health and your spiritual health also is improved. And one of the things that really happens here is it substantially benefits in you as individuals, communities, and the country at large. And it's here that I want to say it's important for all Australians, no matter where you come from, who you are, and what you do, and what sort of level of education or what you think it may be. It is important that we all encourage each other, support each other, and recognise that these are significant things to look at and why volunteering is important. There are two types of volunteering, and I guess it actually depends on where you are and what you can do. But the one form is what we call formal volunteering and then informal volunteering. Now, informal volunteering might be going to your neighbour and helping them, bring their bin in for them or something along those sort of lines. Whereas formal in volunteering is one that you go and you join up with an organisation or a group of people and you consistently be there and doing a task or multiples of tasks in that space. Being motivated and being supported. Men and women both carry the responsibilities to be volunteers, and they have much to do. The ratios today are around about 60% women and 40% men. So I encourage men to get involved, and I know in some of our particular projects that having a few more men on deck would make life a lot easier for us all. Well, I'm just going to take you for a bit of a tour around the country and show you a few of the projects that we have and talk about some of the things that they do here in South Australia. We have multiples of projects, and this first one here they're not in any alphabetical order, they're just in an order that you might find of interest. Trinity Gardens is at the Seventh-day Adventist Church there on Port Rush Road, and it's been operating a pantry for quite some time there on Thursdays between 10 and 1 p.m. Some of the great things that have come out of there is meeting people and enjoying their company. And I have met a number of people through that program, and they really give you some interesting insights into life and what happens and why they are there. There's many things that go on in people's lives, and it's sometimes not their own fault, or other impacting things that occur in their lives that actually cause them to be in the position they're in. And as a volunteer and as someone in the centre, I find it really important that we actually stop and listen and think about and share the good things about what we can and brighten their day up. There are many sad stories too. Now, what I'm going to show you is a picture now of a picture that was a letter that was handed to me some years back now, of a young guy, 12 years of age, and this is his handwriting. And as you can see, he says there, "My dad thinks he's no good. Please help us." And this is sometimes the issue, and frequently the issue, where lots of things have gone wrong in people's lives. And how do we give them self-esteem, build their self-esteem? And as you can see, this child has drawn a picture of his father crying. He said, "Please do not tell my daddy. He will love us all the more. Help us." There's a lot more to this story, which I can't share with you as such, but it was a very dramatic and problematic. Unfortunately, the father was put in prison for a period of time because he was trying to defend and stand up for his children, and it turned out bad for him. Very, very sad and powerful story. But what I'm saying, folks, is there's a need for people to be listened to and supported, to be loved and to be shared just for who they are. People who, when they come in off the street, they have their own stories, they have their own problems, and it's a beautiful place to be. And this is the sort of thing that I've met, the type of people that I have met at Trinity Gardens, where they've come in off the street and they have a story to tell, and they can share that with us. You know, being in a city doesn't necessarily mean that you're well off. In that area particularly, there's a lot of housing, government housing, and having been to a number of these places, it's not necessarily a very peaceful place to live. Yes, it may be in the city, maybe you think it's in a wealthy part of the town, but not so. These people live in these multi-storey buildings and apartments, and the neighbours are very problematic. One particular chap that I met there one time, he's on the mend, and he'd given up drugs, and he's doing a lot better. So he thought to himself, well, I want to give back to the community. And so by giving back to the community, he said, well, I know some people in the area that are struggling to find housing. So he put a guy up in one of his rooms, but it was unfortunately the girlfriend that was the bigger problem for this guy and caused him a lot of grief. In the end, this gentleman lost his unit because of the problems with the people that he had coming into his home. And these are the sort of things that happen. Sometimes people want to do good and it doesn't turn out to be so. One of the other places that we have is in Victor Harbour. This is actually quite a large shop, an op shop. It's open on Sundays from between 10 and 4 p.m, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And it's a great place. And the beauty of that particular place is that it supports and helps fund many projects within our South Australian area. Some of our staff come in on Mondays, and this is the dedication of their staff, that they come in and they want to help and be set up, prepared. The business is quite busy. We take, at the front door, we take the goods in from people who are donating. We also have a vehicle, a truck that goes out collecting and also distributing furniture. And again, this is one of the problems that we have is, we have, in fact, we have so many staff that have now signed up. And it's taken a bit of time to get to the levels that we're needing, but we do need some more men. And again, I'm encouraging people to be involved with these projects because it makes a difference. And the beauty of it is you get a bigger benefit than anything when it comes to this. And that's what we try and encourage, why and how you do these things. Here's a little glimpse of the inside of the building. As you can see, this is a upper picture from the upstairs area, quite a large area. It's about 1,500 square metres. Down the side there, left-hand side, you can see there's part of the sorting area. A lot of things go on. There's a lot of things to do. It's quite a busy place. And it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of volunteers to operate. But the thing is, I was in there the other day, and actually I'll be quite frank with you, I was feeling a little bit down myself that particular morning. And when I came in, I said good morning to the team and the staff. And within minutes, my blues went away because I was able to share, and they were able to share with me a lot of joy and happiness. In fact, one of the ladies there who'd been working with us for a while, this is about inclusion, has inclusion work. She'd been working for us for a little while on a temporary basis, and we have to get our compliance requirements sorted out. And one day I said to her, "Hi, your compliance certificate has come through, and I'm grateful that you can be involved at full time with us now." And she was absolutely overjoyed, over the moon, and said, "This is a place I love, and I feel very accepted." And so these are the sort of environments that we create. A little bit later, due to some other issues, she had to leave for a bit, and there was a few tensions on board on the site, which had to be resolved, and they have been resolved. And when I rang her and I said, "Hey, would you mind coming back again?" She said, "Oh, I'd love to. I've missed it so much. I want to come back." And she walked in. When I walked in the other day, I was met with big smiles, and she came over and gave me a hug and said, "I love being here. I love what we do, and I love what we have here. Thank you for having us back." And that's the kind of environment we want to encourage and to have and share. This lady herself has got her own story, and health is not her best thing at the moment. She's got many struggles there. And I just feel grateful that we can actually be in a position where we can actually offer a space, a safe space, for them to come and to enjoy being with us and to enjoy the company. And there's lots of laughter, there's lots of joy, there's lots of things that go on, and we have a bit of a joke, and we have a good time, and we share meals together and get to learn, and also have some really good talks as well. Here are a few of the ladies who are on the team and have been on this team for quite some time. But as you can see in the picture here, we'd like to support community events. This is actually supporting a school function. Early one morning, they said, "Oh, could you be there with your and make pancakes for us?" And we got our barbecue out, and we made pancakes for the whole school community, mums, dads, kids, and the likes. We didn't charge them anything. There was a free day for them, and it was really well received and enjoyed, to the point that they asked, "Well, next time we have one, do you mind coming back again?" And our staff on site there really had a good time too. This was not something they are very used to. They're normally very quiet people behind the scenes doing their thing, tidying, sorting out the shop, and that type of stuff. But they actually loved being there and supporting of that community. We actually had the privilege of receiving goods from places like Sanitarium, and who give us the ability to share and work with that school community. And we, as an organisation, sponsor them as they have community needs within the schools. One of the school ladies said to me one time, is about 20% of the children come to school without having breakfast. And that's a really sad situation. And we and a child finds it very difficult to learn if they've got an empty stomach and are hungry. Another place going to the other end from Victor Harbour way up to the top of Adelaide is a place called Gawler. And Gawler is a really great little place. We have a new op shop just opened there earlier this year. And the beauty of this sort of thing is that we can engage with local community and local councils and local government. And even in the picture there, you'll see a federal minister there having a chat to the audience. Yes, it's hard work, but it's also very rewarding. And some of the stories that we get from these places, and knowing that the impact that actually comes from there, places like this are really significant. There's one gentleman who's actually having some health struggles at the moment, and he's been having some problems and needing radiation and other treatments, and feeling very down, and he has no family to support him. And our manager there said, "Hey, are you okay?" He said, "Not really." He said, these are the things that are going on in my life. And she said, "Well, do you mind if I take your number and that I can give you a call to check up on you?" And the change in his face was something dramatic. He started to smile, and tears came to his eyes, saying, "Oh, someone does care for me." And that's really beautiful to see. Really important that we can actually share this in this environment. I have a story here from a lady that wrote a letter to us one day, and he said, "Dear Sir, and Madam, to whom it may concern, I'm just an old lady who comes into your beautiful shop sometimes. I just want to thank you especially. I'm so moved to the knowledge of the beautiful way of your staff treat us. I especially want to mention the beautiful lady I hear they call X. Oh my goodness, the way she talks to us, welcomes us, and saying thank you for coming. We are so blessed that you are here. As a Christian, this lady says, I am so proud to identify her beautiful heart, that she is a beautiful testimony to the example of others. It goes to show you that our actions speak louder than words. And this is something, yours faithfully, your customer. These are the sort of things that are very important. And I love the saying that at all times preach the gospel, and when necessary, use words. A verse that I'd like to just share with you, if you don't mind, that I find really probably pertinent for this particular moment. It's found in Ecclesiastes 4, and chapter 4, verse 8. And this is how it goes. There was a man all alone, and had neither son nor brother. There is no end to his toil, yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For whom I am toiling, he asked, and why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. It goes on to say in verse 9, it says, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labour. If either of them falls down, one can help the other. But pity on the one who falls, and no one there to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep each other warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And the point I'm trying to make here is, folks, is being together, being part of community, and volunteering has a very strong rewards. It not only builds your community up, but it builds you up, and being together is a really important part. God designed us to be social beings. We are social beings, and we need each other and need to support each other. And this is what this is about, is how do we support each other. And here is a beautiful and effective avenue to do so, that you can do very easily and get great rewards for that. We often go out and promoting why serving is important. And we serve those to show them that serving is important, and there's lots of rewards for that. And that's really a cool thing to do. Because in Mark 10, verse 45, it says this, because volunteering is serving humanity. And I'm not sure what your relationship with God is, or what with your master, Jesus. But to me, this particular verse speaks volumes, because it says, for even the Son of Man did not come to be served, and gave his life as a ransom for many, but to serve, He did not come to be served, but to serve, and gave his life as a ransom for many. I'm hoping you get a bit of a little glimpse of what that really means. Jesus came from glory, from all of heaven, a place that he did not even have to leave. He came back down into our world, and he gave up his glory to serve us as humanity. He gave up everything he had. And I'm hoping that today, as you get a little glimpse of this insight, that Jesus, the God who wants to give, gave up all glory and gave up his Son. God's Son, Jesus, came and died for each one of us. It's a really crucial thing. And it spurs me on. It gives me confidence. It gives me the encouragement that's needed to actually get out there and to help those in need. Knowing and understanding the face and the grace of Jesus is a really important part of why humanity needs us to serve. Because it lowers it humbles us. It humbles us to go and do things for others. And the joy that you get from that is quite amazing, absolutely amazing, and something that you cannot get out of a bottle or anything else. It's just one thing that God has given us to do and encourages us to do. At the same time, we have another place in Mount Gambier. It's an op shop. This op shop has been going for a number of years now, probably 7 years or so. And in the last 3 years, we've built a little shed out the side, and as you can see there, it's all decked out. It's a really pretty cool shed, and it's actually helped the site tremendously. And it's made a big difference to the community. It's well known in the community. Before the shop was there, no one knew where the Seventh-day Adventist Church was in Mount Gambier, apart from its members. Today, they say, oh, go to the op shop down the road there, and that's where near that church there on the hill. And so it gives us recognition. It gives recognition to the organisation, and it gives recognition to the church as such as well. It keeps the lifeblood going. And it too is supporting many projects within the actual community. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and there was a lady that came in who actually has her own program, who we helped sponsor. And her story, again, was absolutely amazing. A lady who had been going through some incredible difficulties with her own 4 children, being left on her own. And she was able to do and started up this charity, and is making a big impact in the schools. So, it makes a big difference. And we're able to help them by supplying not only funds, but also goods for them as well. Another place is further up the road, is a place called Riverland in Berry. It's a pantry. It's open on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can get free fruit and veg there. It's actually quite a substantial place. The turnover in there is quite huge. But it's a really great place, and people love to come there because they know they can get good quality fruit and veg, but also get very good discounted food. And not only that, there's company. There's people who are willing to stop and have a chat and talk and actually be involved and get recognised for who they are. That's really important. We've got places like Food Bank who give us support, and other vendors who actually support us in being able to supply food to our community. One of the things we're trying to do there is set up a community garden. You can see a picture there too of what a community garden could look like. Again, it requires manpower. So we're appealing to you, if God moves your heart, if you're in a place that you can actually be supportive of a project, that you come out and actually support us in ways that will enrich your life and also the lives that you connect with and come in contact with. Another place just north of Adelaide here is a place called Smithfield. We have an op shop and a pantry there. It's a great little space, and many good things happen there. That the pantry itself it can be very busy on Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. People come from around the community and they actually get free fruit and veg, and also buy again some produce. And these produce sold products help pay the rent. It's not big money, but it helps us keep us alive as well. To supplement that, we have a little op shop at the back of that as well, which has been going for now 2 years, and that's just ticking along and keeping the doors open. It's a matter of how you keep the doors open. But again, volunteers are needed. We need people to help. We need people to come and support. We get plenty of donations. That's always never really a problem. Donations are never really a problem at all. It's about the manpower. And the thing is, you are the one that gets blessed when you can give to these of your time. The other thing that we like to do in a lot of our sites is doing things like crafts and little projects and programs where people can get together and learn new skills, and also engage with each other and encourage each other along life's paths. And another big project which we have here is AdVENTIST itself, which we're speaking from today. Here it operates from Tonsley. It operates predominantly on Sundays, where it does a lot of sorting and delivering, collecting on Thursdays and Fridays mostly, and it's a very mobile project. And what I love about this particular project is its mobility. It gets about. It does many things. It has many aspects to it. And one of the beautiful things is that we actually have a space provided by a group of people, also a charity called Robo-Roos. They give their space to us on a Sunday to be able to pack and unpack, resort and check out our products before we distribute them to the community. It's about these connections that we make with community and with other organisations that make a big difference. They're making a difference to us, and hopefully we're making a difference to them, because there's a bilateral agreement and support of each other. Food left over goes to them as well. So there's lots of things going on, many moving parts to a project. And that's such a fantastic thing to do. The team that involved is quite large, and it comes and goes, but it's a very dynamic space and dynamic team, and I'm grateful for those that get involved and giving of their time. It's a happy place too. There's lots of laughter going on and lots of stirring and so forth, but that's all part of the equation. It's how we engage and how we share and how we work with the community. And these stories that come from these places and the lives touched are really significant. You know, here the same group go out and they go to things like setting up pop-up sites. You see the picture there with a lady with her hand up in the air. We take out food relief to a place called Malala. These people are working, they've come into Australia as pickers and working as in the fields as for temporary work. And their life is tough. You know, they come to Australia thinking that they were going to earn good money that they can just send back home. But unfortunately, there's a lot of things happening in Australia, and people get greedy, and their support and money that goes back home is actually quite low after their rent and transport and all the things are taken out. There's very little for them to survive on, and also to send back home to their families. Yet we love to be there and help them out and support them. For some time, we were working on a place called Kangaroo Island. Some of you may know where that is. It's an interesting place, and each week, once a month, we would go over there and we would set up a pop-up site, and we would have lunches and set up lunches for the community on a Saturday at lunchtime, and have a program where we can. And once or twice we went and did things like health programs and supporting those health programs and giving the community something to work from and learn about how to improve their health as such. The other thing that we do as well is we go from door to door, delivering food and doing other things on many other sites. So a dynamic and powerful group, and very grateful for this opportunity to share with you today in what we're doing and what they are doing as well. A little bit further out of town, we have a place called Mannum. Now this is a really interesting story. Mannum itself is the church site there has been closed for quite a number of years. And so one of the beautiful things that we've been able to do is actually reopen the doors there for the last 3 years. The pantry there has been operating particularly on a Wednesday. They've now expanded out into Fridays, and that's doing a great job and being well received by the community. The pantry items are obviously given and donations to us for supporting the pantry, and fresh fruit and veg are given away. And each fairly often, as you can see, there's a table, meals have been given, and there's another picture here where bringing meals, sitting together after the pantry's been operating for an hour or two, and having time together, eating together and enjoying each other's company, learning from each other and sharing the benefits of community as such. It's a great thing to be able to do, and we pray that we can continue to do that as we work in these areas. They are remote, they have their challenges, but nonetheless they are very effective as such, and they make a big difference to those communities that we actually move into and support. So we're asking you to be engaged and involved as you watch this. I hope that you are being stirred into some action to actually be involved with these programs and to say, hey, I think I can do something. I think I can contribute. I'd love to do so. Attached to the Mannum project is the Murray Bridge Community Pantry. I didn't have any photos of the actual site as such, but we do have a shed there where we do have our goods and equipment stored as needed, which we use and then distribute to other sites as we need to. Hardware is required in each of our sites, and to buy or get rid of a lot of it can be expensive to buy some of these items like shelving and that type of thing. So it's great to be able to have a place to store our goods and to be able to get them as we need to, and to be able to share them around on our sites. Again, being a remote place, schools out there are quite remote too, and sometimes these schools don't get a lot of interaction from other places or community as such. So we have the privilege from time to time to go and have a barbecue or pancake times with the schools. The picture you see there on your left is there. There's over 300 children, and we've actually fed them in just over 40 minutes. Our barbecue system is really quite good. We were able to keep the sausages warm and process it very well. And in a short space of time, because it was only lunchtime that we had, we were able to then give out these sausages and they can all have, and bread and so forth, for the kids to be fed and have a great time. So the young couple there on the are the team leaders for the school, and they wanted to say thank you for supporting them in these remote sites. And it's a blessing. It's actually quite a buzz, and it's really lovely. One thing that stood out to me out in the country in particular is that the further you went out, the manners of one particular school was quite lovely. As we were giving out the sausages and we were giving those out. The children said thank you and please. And it's something you don't often hear, and I was really quite moved by that. And I had to compliment the actual principal later and said, I'm really pretty encouraged to hear your children had beautiful manners in sharing their please and thank yous as they were asking for food. Another area that we have been involved with and continue to do so is with the Prescott schools. This is Prescott Northern. A number of times a year they give me a call and say, hey, we would like to be able to contribute to you. Can you bring your truck around? Or we have boxes full of food. We've had a program and we've been able to collect a whole heap of food. And one of the last times we got over 500 boxes of breakfast cereals, where they'd made this domino effect that went through all the school, and it went for ages. It was quite phenomenal, quite really cool to see what happened. And we were able to give out all those cereal boxes to the schools and the communities in and around South Australia. So it's pretty cool, Great things happen, and we're really blessed. So let's load them up and keep going, as they say. Another place that we have that operates on a Saturday is a place called Mawson Lakes Food Pantry. They do a great job on every Saturday. They open their doors up after their church service. They hire a hall, much like the ADVENTIST people do, but they open up their doors to the community. This is in an area of the university campus, and they set out the food on tables, and the people come through and they can get their food and supplies for the week. And it's a really great space, and many good connections have been made in that area. You can come for lunch even, which is pretty cool, hey? And so I would encourage you to check them out, and also check out ADVENTIST, because they also do lunch as well. And these are things that are happening around the place. It's an integrated program. As I mentioned, it's on a university campus, and it happens on Saturday afternoons, where they collect the food and then put it straight out on the tables, and then given to their community as such. And nothing goes to waste either. If not all the food gets moved from there, it goes to another site as well. And so we love to share, we love to work in collaboration with each team as best as we can and wherever possible. In Whyalla. Whyalla's about 4 hours west of Adelaide. It's a great place. It has a lot of things happening over there, particularly in our address space. It's what we call a community centre. Now, a community centre is not just an op shop. It actually combines a cafe and emergency food relief. We have great work over there being done. It's open from Tuesdays through to Thursdays. The op shop is very busy, and it does a great job, raises its own funds to support itself, and actually then gives a lot to the community. Each month, over $1,000 is drawn down from that account to give to its community, to give food and relief to its community. And that's the minimum usually. So there's a lot more at other times. So it does a tremendous job. It does a great job. I was there earlier this week, and it was going really well. It's now just over 10 years old now. I had a birthday, I think it was earlier this year, its 10th birthday. And, sometimes people don't expect these projects to last long, but with the will and determination and the good-heartedness of some amazing volunteers, they are there to support their community. And the interconnection and the collaboration that goes on in that community is something substantial. Job agencies come and join in with people with work from the Dole program, for argument's sake. They come and they give their young people training, and so we give them training so they are job ready. And then we have many other volunteers that come from the community that are at a loss with things to do, so they want to come and join us. And we have truck drivers there, and we have people picking up furniture and dropping off furniture, shop. The cafe, as you can see, the Chat and Chew picture there. The cafe itself is a really interesting program. It actually, when we get free fruit and veg and we can't actually we've got too much of it, or it's not quite good enough to give away, we can cook it up and make meals out of it. So obviously being discretionary about how things are, but if it doesn't look great, but it's still good food, then we can make great meals out of it. And oftentimes these meals go very, very quickly. We can put them in the freezer, and as they get frozen, then people can come and buy them as they need to. And they're a low-cost meal, and there's people on pensions and so forth. When I was there on Tuesday morning, a man came in and he bought 10 of these frozen food, because cooking for himself, it's a pain. So he actually gets this food, and he actually then is able to get a healthy meal straight out of the freezer and cook it up for himself with a microwave. So these are the sort of things that we do, and that the Chat and Chew program there raises quite a lot of funds as well, because it does the true cafe style thing, and it's a well-known little cafe in this area of the city of Whyalla. So many community activities happen there, and many great things that go on in these sort of places, and they're quite remote, but nonetheless very, very impacting on their local community. A little bit closer to town is a place called Kadina. And Kadina Op Shop and has a food relief program as well. They partner with Food Bank to support them with their food. And as you can see there in the pictures, that there's a lot of stuff going on there. And it is a very active program as well. Tuesday through to Thursday, and doing from 9 till 3 is their hours. And it's a busy little place. It's blessing the community. And you often I often hear from the team and the requests that come from, hey, can we help this person, they've got these problems, how can we help them? And I look for people with initiative and incentive to actually go and do good for their community. So how do we go out and we bless our community is a really important thing. Another place that's taken off recently is in the last year or so is Adelaide City. Again, this particular program starts and operates on a Saturday morning and goes through to about 1 o'clock, where the participants are also invited to come up for lunch as well. It's a pantry that now, it started in the driveway. It now has its own room at the back there where the food and goods are given to the community, and it's steadily increasing as a project. And the church community itself has changed dramatically in the way this project's happened. Initially, there was a bit of standoff and reserve. Now, many of the church people are getting involved, and it's actually changing the atmosphere and the mood of the church. So, because they see a need in their community, and it's really quite cool. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had a fundraising program in the afternoon, a sacred concert, and they raised sufficient funds to buy a freezer that was desperately needed to keep the food cold and frozen from week to week as they receive it. So, these things are happening. As an organisation, we are there for the community, and the picture on the left there with the masks and the chairs and so forth is that a really sad time. This was yet another passing away of a volunteer that happens, and the family weren't in a position to do much, so we as a community invited our local community who knew the gentleman involved here, who'd been working with us for quite some time, and to celebrate his passing and to celebrate how he had contributed to community. And they are sad times, but they're important times. They're important to our communities so that we can actually reach out, because there's a lot of people that are lonely, that don't have the family networks, that don't have the commitment or the connections that are required or make their life happy and complete. So we try and fill in that gap where we can as possible. So saying goodbye sometimes is a very sad and hard thing, but yet I think very necessary for us to do so in our community. At the same time, the picture next door to that, you'll see there's lots of green grass and a marquee. And again, this is encouraging dads with a pram. There's an annual program called Dads with a Pram, and encouraging people to come. And we were there supplying food in that morning to just build community and to encourage dads to be good dads and to how to be involved in family life, because that's a really crucial part of our society. Families are being destroyed and pulled apart dramatically. And so where we can actually make a difference to the lives of a family or even one person is that one, it makes that one thing different in that person's life. A couple of years ago, when the war broke out in the Ukraine, we were able to put a program together for the Ukrainian group here in South Australia. And we took them out for the day, again having barbecues and food, and the two flags you see there with the young boy standing with the goalposts. You know, being a European country, they love playing soccer. And so the soccer ball was out and they were playing great games of soccer and just letting it go. It's very interesting and yet sad, because some of these parents, some of these people, you know, their partners and husbands were still back in the home country. So not knowing what was going on from one day to the next can be quite a tension. And we were there just trying to help create a little bit of joy from those that are torn by war-torn areas. So my call to you today is this. I'm asking you to get involved. As you can see, we've got some pretty flash little looking vehicles there with some signage on there. It's a pride and joy to be able to drive these vehicles. But I tell you one thing in particular. There on the side of the bus you see there, justice, compassion and love. And it really challenges you as you drive these vehicles through the town. Because how do you show justice? How do you show compassion? And how do you show love? And those characteristics of that we may have, those little momentary instincts, could be things that could change people's perception of what justice, compassion and love are. So it makes you and challenges you to really be conscious of the badge you are wearing and how you are wearing that badge and what are you sharing and showing your community and the driving community in this case on the roads. Are we actually showing justice? Are we showing love? Are we showing compassion, letting them in, stopping and being grateful, or being someone that's aggressive on the road? You know, these things are really quite things that actually make you stop and think and say, hey, we are here to serve our community. And how do we do that? Can be shown. It can be quite a challenge, even shown in the driving. And as I shared with you in that letter earlier, you know, sometimes things we do, oftentimes the things we do speak loud, actions speak louder than words. So my call to you is call to mission. We do things. And the call for mission is this. In and around Australia, we often have disasters. And South Australia, although not as disaster prone as some other areas of our country, we are looking for people who are willing to put their hand up to be involved in the National Emergency Relief Program. Here in South Australia, what we're asking for is people who are committed to being able to support. Now again, as I mentioned about volunteers, there's the formal volunteers and informal volunteers. This role is probably more a case of slightly informal, formal but yet informal, because it's not something that you need to do every day because we don't have disasters every day. But at the same time, we are looking for leaders who are good leaders in logistics, good leaders who could program manage, good leaders who are HR managers, looking at resources of humanity, and also good people who are good at communicating. So when a disaster occurs, we need people to be able to be involved and be able to work out these, be involved with these particular key areas of supporting our programs. So if you have a particular liking for this idea and would like to have some commitment, there's training involved, and I would love to hear from you. Please contact me, and you can contact me through the Adventist Church at Prospect there. I don't have my details here on file today, but nonetheless, I'm keen to hear from you if you are interested in working in any of these areas. Come and have a chat. It's not, as I said, it's not a full-time position, but it's a program. It's something that we're looking for leaders in there. As you can see, you know, this disaster, these pictures here are actual disasters that have actually happened in our own state. and that have incurred a lot of problems within our own South Australia. And some of these buildings no longer stand or exist anymore as such. So my call for you is, if you have a willingness to support and in a disaster environment, more than happy to hear from you as such. But also, if you're looking for a more continuous program to be involved with and in caring for our communities, please come and work with us. Because as you can see here, these from these photos, which I referred to earlier, caring for those who are away from home. These are the lives that we impact. Seasonal workers. ADVENT Connect is leading the way in sharing the hope and joy. And as you can see, people got their hands up and they're very happy and joyful because they were giving food and clothing. If you see a need, come and talk to us. That's what this is about. Come and talk to here at ADRA or here at ADVENT Connect. Get involved with us or any of your local projects that you may be close to actually be involved. Find your place. Where is your place? Your place. What does that look like? And you can find your happy place, because being engaged with community, finding and working with community is a really great thing to do, and it rewards you significantly in so many ways. Let me share with you just a little bit of scripture, because this is what Galatians 5 says. It says here, "Live life by the Spirit. You, my brothers and sisters, were once called to be, you, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free. But do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping just this one command." And what is this command? Love your neighbour as yourself. And I pray that that's something you can do today as you think about this and contemplate this operation. Don't walk away. Don't walk away. Go do and go serve. Thank you. So before we leave, I'd just like to have a word of prayer, and I want to thank you for your attendance today online and for your commitment to sharing and looking at what we have available, and that God speaks to you, and that you'll put your hand up. But not only put your hand up, but also give your life to Jesus, because he is the one who's volunteered his life for all of us and humanity as such. So let's pray. Father God, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share these words and insights of what's happening here in South Australia. I praise you for who you are and what you are doing. And I praise you for who you bring along in our path, not only to minister to, but to minister with and to minister to us as well. So Father, I ask that you give those that are watching online today a sense of understanding of what that really means, an insight to who you are, the character, the God of love, who sent his Son, Jesus, to serve all humanity. And that we can just visualize that and contemplate and meditate on the beautiful pictures that are particularly in the Gospels, of Jesus doing his thing in and around on this world, healing people, loving people, raising people from the dead, and washing feet in humility, humbly, even though there was somebody who hated him so much that he betrayed him, yet he washed their feet. He said nothing about that. He just knew that his time would come. But he knew that he was doing it for everybody, not just that man, but everybody involved, including us today. In your name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Henk, for that wonderful message. If you come to the venue, there'll be time to interact with the speaker for the day. You can ask questions and interact more. Thanks for joining us. For those online, do join us next week. We'll be streaming straight from the Sitting Centre for the regional for South Australia. May the Lord bless and keep you, and see you next time. Thanks.